The 2025 Las Vegas Raiders finally hit the field Thursday night, and let's be honest, a 23-23 tie with the Seattle Seahawks isn't the kind of debut fans were hoping for. But hey, every season has to start somewhere. The team now has a full month to sharpen up before clashing with the New England Patriots in the season opener. From the hype and energy in training camp, this performance was a letdown, though not a total disaster. The biggest win? No major injuries to key players. That's huge. Still, the game gave us plenty to think about. Before we jump into the latest Raiders news, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. One thing that needs to be put to rest: the talk about backup quarterback Aiden O'Connell taking over the starting role. The Raiders brought in Geno Smith for a reason, and Thursday night was a reminder of why the decision stands. Thursday night was a mix of brilliance and blunders for the Raiders quarterbacks. Aiden O'Connell showed flashes, pinpoint throws that only his receivers could grab, followed immediately by head-scratching misfires. Two of those misses landed right in the hands of Seattle defenders. That kind of inconsistency won't just keep him from starting. It could cost him the backup job. Cam Miller made his presence felt, going 6 for 7 for 76 yards, including a beautiful 41-yard strike to Cedric Jackson. It's no secret Miller has strong backing in the organization, and O'Connell's 18 of 30 stat line, 205 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 ugly interceptions isn't doing him any favors. There's no quarterback controversy at the top, but the number 2 spot could get interesting. If the Raiders expect to contend this season, the offensive line has to hold up. The experiment of shifting Jackson Powers Johnson from center to guard and Jordan Meredith to center is still raising eyebrows. Powers Johnson was the top center in college football in 2023 and excelled there last season. That said, the O-line struggles go deeper than just player positioning. It's a unit-wide problem that needs solving fast. At center, Jordan Meredith held his ground, while Jackson Powers Johnson kept bulldozing defenders from the guard spot. Right tackle DJ Glaze had a shaky start, allowing early pressure and needing help from tight ends and running backs, but he steadied as the game went on. Run blocking, however, remained a weakness across the board. Left tackle Colton Miller saw only limited snaps, and left guard Dylan Parham looked solid in pass protection but less effective in the run game. One player who turned heads was Lakitasi. Yes, it was against Seattle's third stringers, but his dominance was hard to ignore. The real test will come when he faces stronger competition. The receiving core still looks like one of the Raiders' biggest strengths. Jacoby Myers dropped his lone target, but that's hardly cause for concern. Rookie Jack Bott made his presence known with a catch, while Philip Dorsett and Trey Tucker capitalized on their chances, Tucker especially, using his speed to create cushion for a crisp comeback route. The most anticipated debut belonged to Dante Thornton. After shining in rookie camp, Otis, and training camp, he showed glimpses of his star potential. A missed back shoulder fade and a couple of overlooked routes kept him from a breakout night, but he still hauled in a clutch 17-yard grab on third down. The connection between him and the quarterbacks is still a work in progress, but the talent is there. For a rookie under the bright lights of his first NFL game, he handled himself well. The real intrigue will be seeing what kind of chemistry he can build with Geno Smith once the regular season kicks in. On defense, one issue stood out: missed tackles. While no single player is solely to blame, it's clear this was a team-wide problem. Too many defenders took poor angles to the ball, and that's the kind of thing that turns promising plays into first downs for the opponent. In practice, simulated tackling is standard across the league, but Thursday night, the Raiders' execution lagged far behind Seattle's. The good news? It's fixable, and it needs to be fixed fast. With joint practices against the San Francisco 49ers coming up, the Raiders have a chance to work on tackling in more live-action situations. One bright spot on that side of the ball was linebacker Jamal Adams. He played with physicality and precision, finishing with 3 tackles, all of them run stops. On a night when many struggled to bring ball carriers down, Adams set the example. Watching him last night made me wonder if a starting spot might be within reach. The secondary as a whole held up well. Corners Eric Stokes and Darren Portal stayed locked in on their matchups, forcing tight windows all night. But the highlight came from safety Isaiah Pola-Mao, who delivered the Raiders' lone turnover. Reading the quarterback's eyes in quarters coverage, he broke on the ball and made a diving interception, the kind of instinctive play that changes games. Pola-Mao has range, toughness, and a nose for the football. If he sharpens his man coverage skills, he could be a long-term difference maker in this defense. Another player worth watching is interior defensive lineman Thomas Booker. Acquired in a trade with Philadelphia after the loss of King Zesty, Booker brings upside that might not have been fully tapped in the Eagles' deep rotation. With Jalen Carter and other stars ahead of him, his snaps were limited, but in Las Vegas, he has an opportunity to prove he can be more than a depth piece. The move came shortly after the Raiders added Anthony Pash as senior personnel executive and Brandon Hunt as vice president of personnel, a sign this front office isn't afraid to make targeted, high-upside moves. Coming over from Philadelphia, the new front office members clearly saw potential in Thomas Booker, and Thursday night he showed why. Despite only having a few days in the system, he flashed quick closing speed on the quarterback and solid penetration against the run. With defensive line coach Rob Leonard guiding him, Booker could grow into a key piece for this defense. Running back Ashton Jeanty got just 3 carries, and it's likely his preseason workload stays light. The priority will be keeping him fresh and healthy for the regular season, which means the offensive line's performance is critical. There are still concerns there, and it will be interesting to see what Lakitasi can do against tougher competition next week. The verdict on Aiden O'Connell is set. He's firmly a backup, and even that role isn't locked in. Tackling remains an issue across the defense, and it needs to be addressed immediately, live drills or not. Still, there are clear bright spots. Jamal Adams' sure tackling, Dante Thornton's upside at receiver, and Booker's early promise on the defensive line. That's all for this Raiders update. The season is coming fast, and the next few weeks will be crucial in turning these flashes into consistent execution.